Welcome back to my channel, my memes. I am so excited to share this video with you guys. I've been wanting to do this video since I don't know, became a mom. And so my baby girl was born about 3 months ago. She actually just made 3 months the day before yesterday. So I bring to you this video on how I naturally induced my labor at home to get this thing on the road, to get my baby out of there. I was just so ready to meet her. I really didn't have time to sit here and just continue to be pregnant. I wanted it to be absolutely finito, done, over with. I can honestly promise you that these things worked for me that I'm going to share with you. And just a disclaimer, I'm no professional. I am no licensed nurse or certified nurse or anything like that. I just simply took direction from my midwife, who I hired to assist me with my home birth, and I also just did some research and kind of gathered information on my own. So please do not try anything crazy. Do not go down a rabbit hole. Pace yourself. If one thing doesn't work, give yourself some time before you try another thing. I basically gave birth honestly like no more than 24 hours after I did these methods, so I can definitely say that they were efficient, they worked, they helped me get my baby girl out of there and out into the world. Okay, so without further ado, let's hop right into this video of what it was that I used and what it was that I did to help me increase my, I don't know, just get me ready for labor and birth. So if you're pregnant right now, keep on watching. And if you plan on having kids in the future and want to know how to induce your labor naturally, keep on watching. My midwife was telling me, just wait it out, and things like that, to keep a long story short for you guys, because I don't want to ramble. But she told me to hit her back up if I don't have any progress or don't feel any like real hardcore contractions or don't feel anything that I'm, that's signaling me that I'm about to go into labor. So the previous conversation, my midwife was saying how if you don't see anything, call me back, tell me how you're feeling, tell me if you just want to get the baby out, and we'll go from there if you still haven't give birth by this exact date. So I called her back and I'm like, you know what the word is. I'm ready to get this baby out. What you got for me? This is how it looks. I don't know if you guys can see. I don't have a fill-in. Please bear with my nails, y'all. But this is how it looks. It's like a royal blue bottle, and it's about 4 fluid ounces. You don't want to get no more than 4 fluid ounces because you're really not going to need that much. You would find this castor oil in like near the laxative section. Like you'll find in your Miralax or regular laxatives or magnesium citrate maybe. But I had my boyfriend go to Walgreens and pick up me some castor oil laxative. This laxative is very thick, very syrupy. So I will tell you guys how I took it to make it work for me. So how my midwife is telling me to take it, initially she was like, take half the bottle and mix it with eggs or mix it with juice or water and just consume it that way. And I'm like, oh my god. Once I opened it and kind of, I'm just very nosy, and I always got to check out what I'm doing or check it out, peep the scene. So I opened it, and it's very syrupy. Ultimately, I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna do it that way. So how I did it was on the 26th of December, mind you, I gave birth on the 28th of December 2020 to my beautiful baby girl. On the 26th at around 8 p.m., 8:30-ish is when I started to take the castor oil laxative. So what I personally did was I was just sitting and chilling with my mom, and I would literally take this and pour 4 capfuls, take it back real quick and grab for my drink and just wash it down that way. Every 2 hours I would take 4 capfuls of the castor oil laxative. So I did about 3 rounds of this. So I gave up at the middle of the morning. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that. I was like, I'm not gonna take any more. I'm just gonna give me some rest. And just a tip, you will want to get you some rest. If you're doing these methods that I'm telling you to do, there is a high chance or a high risk that you can go into labor hours after you do these things, or as it just depends. Every woman body is different. I recommend you get as much rest as you can after you do these methods to induce your labor, because if not, you're going to be pretty pissed if you go into labor tired, because you're going to struggle trying to get that baby out, okay? Period. So I'm like, let me just go to sleep. I went to sleep, woke up the next morning, and I'm like, okay, I don't feel anything. She said, my midwife said that this is supposed to make you feel like period cramps, probably some Braxton Hicks, a little bit of like feeling like you have to relieve yourself and do number 2 in the bathroom. So I'm like, okay, I don't got none of those feelings yet. But I did wake up with a little bit of nausea, and I'm like, okay, I did have to go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom, I peed, and I looked down in my underwear and I saw the cervical mucus plug. It's basically the plug that kind of protects the cervix, especially when you're carrying a baby. This was like my boost, my starting point. Like once I saw the cervical mucus plug fall out after I was done taking this, I'm like, okay, now it's time to just get this ball really rolling. So I was on my yoga ball, you know, I'm like just rolling my hips on the yoga ball, just kind of trying to get some movement there. So yes, I would say the castor oil laxative is the most effective. Again, you can get this from Walgreens. I don't know if Target has it, but you will go to the like laxative section or digestion section, and then you would find this. It's not a regular castor oil that you're consuming. It's more of a laxative. Number 2, I like eating pineapples. I honestly waited a couple hours, and my sister went to Whole Foods and she brought me back a thing of pineapples. I put like a good amount of pineapples in a bowl, and I just maxed the whole bowl of pineapples, and I started to feel a little bit of Braxton Hicks. I just really felt ready to go into labor. I don't know if it was a preterm thing, but I felt really ready. The pineapples is known to soften your cervix and just kind of make, you know, I think I read that they don't recommend pregnant women in the first trimester or second maybe consume pineapples because it contains a certain vitamin that kind of softens your cervix. So I started to see like little signs of her, you know, moving farther and farther down and kind of snuggling in the birth canal and getting ready to be born. So I would say number 2 was the pineapples. I did this after I quit taking the castor oil. And so around this time, again, this was the 27th. Mind you, I'm going to tell you guys, I gave birth. If you haven't watched my birth video, I'm going to leave it below in the description box. I'm going to leave the link. I gave birth to Serenity at 10:10 a.m. in the morning. So I gave birth to her in the morning. So I didn't give birth later on in the day. It was pretty early still. So you could see how quickly I went from not being in labor to going into full-blown labor and giving birth within like 18 hours, 16 hours from when I started to do these methods. So I will say that these things honestly work for me. After I consumed all the pineapples, I had my sister also grab me some 100% natural raspberry leaf tea. Now I was seeing this like in my second trimester on Facebook, Instagram, where a lot of moms were just drinking the raspberry leaf tea. No sugar, no nothing like that. Or they'll just put like honey or lemon in it, and then they'll just consume 1 cup, and then they'll consume another cup at the end of the day after they, you know, got settled in. I only drank about 1 8-ounce cup of the raspberry leaf tea, and then I started to feel more and more Braxton Hicks contractions. So I would say that definitely was effective. And it's a lot of different brands out there, but I would just get 100% organic or just regular raspberry leaf tea, and just, you know, I steeped it for about 5 to 6 minutes to really get it potent, because I just was not playing no games. I wanted my child like out. I wanted to meet her. I was excited to meet her. So I'm like, look, you gotta go. But ultimately, like I said, the castor oil laxative kind of got things going. That was my boost. Then I did the pineapples, and then I did the tea. And then I'm going to share with you the next thing I did was definitely looking up some exercising videos to get my body like ready for birth. I'm like, okay, let me look on YouTube and see if I can find like a little exercise video, something to get my blood kind of flowing and kind of prep me for birth. So it was a warm-up that I really liked. I'm going to attach it in my description box again for this video so you can see. You can pick anyone you want. You know, a lot of ladies who are pregnant and expecting will do a lot of these videos to give you kind of an idea of what you can do to get the body going and get the hips kind of, you know, used to some movement. I technically didn't want to give birth with just, I don't know, I wanted to kind of warm my body up for birth and kind of get my hips ready, get my blood ready, get my boobs ready even, because I was gonna be breastfeeding up in here. So that's that. So I did me this workout video. I did it like twice, and you know, I did some squats, did some like, it wasn't hard. I didn't do anything. I didn't overwork myself. I just kind of wanted to get the body kind of flowing, kind of just signal to my baby girl like, hey, I'm ready for you. Marco Polo. So when you gonna come? I shit you not. When I was done exercising, it was literally like 5 p.m. No, it was 4:30. When I finished that exercise, I shit you not, it was 4:30 p.m. on the 27th of December. And I started to feel some Braxton Hicks, and I'm like, oh, okay, wait a minute. Okay, I think she's ready. I think she's getting the signal. I think she's getting the hint. Spiritually, I wanted to communicate to my daughter that I'm ready to meet her. When you're truly ready to meet your child, and when your baby is signaling back that she's ready to come on out, I feel like you are just meant to go into full-blown labor at any minute. So around 4:30, I felt some Braxton Hicks, and I went to the bathroom again to use it. Now, this Braxton Hicks, or this particular contraction, had me grab for something. So it wasn't like extremely painful, but it was uncomfortable enough to make me grab for the sink and hold on. So I'm like, okay, we definitely getting there. You're not in labor until you sense a pattern with your contractions. If your contractions was really all over the place, like badly, like you had one at 2 p.m. and then the next one you had at 6 or 5:25, you could be experiencing some Braxton Hicks, like I said. And if you don't know what Braxton Hicks are, those are kind of like mini contractions is what I would call them, but they're not like the real thing, but it gives you a good idea of what the real thing is going to be like. So yeah, I felt that, and then I'd say at about 6 o'clock the pattern started. So now I'm like feeling contractions every 40 minutes, and then it went from like every 40 minutes to every 35 to 40 minutes, and then it went from every 35 to 40 minutes to 30 to 35 minutes, and then so forth and so on. So I'm like, okay, this is it. I'm about to go into labor, and yada yada yada. I was ready. I was like, okay, let's get it. Sometimes, guys, we just want that baby out, period, point blank. There's nothing wrong with any of these methods. They're completely safe. They're completely natural, as long as you pace yourself and do this within your means. Mama, please do not overdo it. Do not overwork yourself. That baby is going to come when that baby is ready. But if you find that, okay, you're like a day away from your due date, only do these methods when you are at least 39 to 40 weeks. I really wouldn't recommend doing it any earlier than that. I've heard of some women doing it like at their 38th week. They just had enough of being pregnant and they're like fucking over it. Again, be careful. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm gonna attach everything in the description box. I wish you a safe and healthy, happy birth, and everything on your journey to be amazing for you. And again, this is your girl, Messiah M. Make sure you hit that notifications bell, hit the subscribe button for more content coming your way. I said that totally opposite, but you know what I mean. Leave some comments, questions. If you have anything from me that I didn't answer in this video, definitely just hit me up.